Hey, Savvies. Happy Tuesday. My name is Rachel, and I am super excited to be going live with you today. Let's check off just some housekeeping things. If you are jumping on, let me know or if you can hear and see me okay. Let's start there. Can you hear and see me okay? We want to make sure all the tech is in place. I see some of you jumping on with me now, whether you're on Facebook or whether on YouTube. Welcome. I am super excited to be chatting with you today all about your confidence and how you can step into your confidence and what that looks like, especially when it comes to starting, owning, growing, and maybe even scaling your own virtual assistant business. All right, you can hear and see me. Awesome. All right. Now, what I want to do before we jump into all the nitty gritty is I want to kind of take our focus from whatever is happening in your world today. For me, thank goodness, my kids are back in school. We had a couple snow days last week. And so walking into this week, I want to really look at our focus. I want us to stop and take a moment and be grateful. Let's do some gratitude. What are you specifically thankful for today? Where can you express gratitude in your life? And maybe not everything looks fabulous and everything's not going wonderfully and all your ducks may not be in a row. That's okay. I totally get you. I totally hear you. But even in those moments of difficulty and struggle and hitting the pavement, right? There are moments and places where we can find gratitude. So I want us to stop for just a quick minute and I want you to drop it in the comments. What are you grateful for today? I'll start while you're thinking, but make sure to share them in the comments. I am so very grateful for a sweet time of rest and relaxation and celebration. I had an extended weekend. It was wonderful. I traveled to go visit my work buddies and celebrate with one of our coworkers who recently got married. And it was just a great time of connecting. We shared coffee, we shared meals, we shared laughs, we stayed up way too late, but it was such a great time of connection, relaxation, celebration, all of the things. And for that, I'm so very grateful. So, what are you grateful for? How can we walk into this hour to talk about our confidence with gratefulness? Christian says, I'm grateful for all the lessons that I'm learning as I grow. I love that. Tina says that God is leading me day to day. I'm thankful that I have contacts to help me with my branding, especially us here at TVS. Anita says, I'm grateful for time to do this webinar. Oh, I love that, Anita. And I am grateful that you've taken the time to join me today. So if you're just jumping on, we're just taking a quick moment to be grateful for something in our lives today. It's really, really important that you take that time to make that mindset shift when you're getting ready to kind of dive into some work, to start with some gratitude. And I challenge you to do that on a regular basis, whether it's when you first start out your work day or whether you're starting out breakfast with the kiddos, whatever that looks like for you in your life, taking those moments to be grateful and be specific. Okay, we know that everything can be seen and heard okay. I see lots of you jumping on with me today, and we've spent some time in gratitude. So shall we jump in to stepping in to your confidence? If you're ready today, tell me in the comments, I'm ready, and let's jump in. I have 4 points that I want to bring forward to you today about what it can look like to practice stepping in to your confidence and how to be confident, specifically when we're looking at our business. And as you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll have some time for some Q&A here at the end of the live. I know that my team is in the comments as well, supporting. Thanks, team, for being here with me today. So don't hesitate to ask your questions even in the thread while we're chatting. And I'll try to keep an eye on the comments as well. All right. So the first thing that I want you to think about when looking at to stepping into your confidence is this. I want you to recognize your strengths. You are unique. You have special gifts, talents, and abilities that, believe it or not, nobody else has in the way that you exhibit them. right? That's really important. Are there going to be people that we interact with that have similar gifts, talents, and abilities? 100%. Okay. But the way that you exhibit them, the way that you display them, the way that you share them is going to be unique to you and who you are. And to be able to step into your confidence, especially when it's difficult, you have to be able to recognize where your strengths lies. And you need to affirm yourself in those, right? And I mean active and affirmation. I don't mean passive, right? I mean really taking the time to affirm yourself. Very similar to what we just did a second ago, right? By taking the time to express gratitude. Take the time to affirm yourself in your strengths. And that can look in a variety of ways, right? You could write them down. You can have a journal. I had a friend here at work. It was a really great idea, and I think it's brilliant. So what she did, I was actually a Christmas gift. Shout out to Katie Day. She gets all the credit for this idea. So it was just a simple paper calendar, one of those that come in like a little journal type format. And it had the month blocked out just like a typical calendar. And every morning I start by writing one thing that I'm grateful for in that square. Why not do the same for affirming yourself? Hey, what am I good at? What am I going to achieve today? What are my gifts? What are my talents, right? And be specific, name them out. Okay, maybe you have a Google Doc of affirmations that you regularly visit. Maybe you're a journal and you like to do that, affirming yourself in your unique gifts, talents, and abilities. Okay, I want you to do that right now. What is something that is special and unique to you? What are you good at? And it doesn't necessarily have to be answering an email or organizing a calendar, right? Are you a good friend? Do you build great relationships? What are those for you? Think about it for a minute, and I want you to affirm yourself in the comments. And here's how I want you to do it. If you're not already typing, I want you to name yourself in the personal sense. I am fill in the blank. Yes, Anita says, I'm an encourager. I'm good at researching. What are you good at? Recognize those strengths and affirm yourself in those strengths. And I want you to look at ways in your normal practice of routine, how you can do that. Jenny says, I am patient and a nurturing mother. I am loyal, Jennifer says. Oh, goosebumps, y'all. Okay. So good. Yes, Barbara's good at researching. If y'all haven't done this already, I'm going to pause just a quick second. If you jump into, I think the event description, you can give StreamYard permission so that I can see your name and your picture when you comment. Kayla says, I am supportive of my friends, family, and clients. Tina says, I am a helper. So good. It's important that we do that. Christian says, I'm good at organizing and planning. Okay. Emma says, I am confident, or I'm great at listening and team building. Make it a regular practice to affirm yourself. Now, maybe you're sitting here and Rachel, that feels weird. I don't like to do that. I want you to go and ask somebody. Okay. And maybe you get to a moment where you're just feeling stuck in the mud and you're feeling overwhelmed by life and you're feeling, I'm not doing anything right. Everything that I'm touching is broken, right? I've been there. I've done that. We have days like that. Okay, hands raised. When you get to that moment of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, things like that, and you can't find those places to affirm yourself, go ask somebody. Think of the people that are in your circle that love you well. Maybe it's a partner, a spouse, a bestie, a parent, another family member, and go to them, right? And say, hey, what are some things that you notice that I'm really good at? Or be honest and brutally real. If you're struggling, hey, I'm really struggling with self-confidence and I need somebody to just encourage me in something that I do well and that you've seen me do well. Sometimes that's really hard to ask for, right? Especially if you have to be real in that moment. But if they are a supportive person in your life, they're going to walk right next to you and they're going to encourage you and they're going to affirm you. And they might even surprise you with what they tell you. Don't be afraid to ask. So many good affirmations in the comments. Oh, this is really, really good. All right. Now I want to ask you a question and then we'll move on to the next one. Why is it important? And I've kind of talked for a minute, but I love interaction if you haven't figured that out yet. Okay. Why is affirming yourself so important for you? There's not a blanket answer. Why is affirming yourself so important for you? Think about that for a minute. I would love to hear some responses in the comments, right? Affirmation for me reminds me that I am unique, that I do have gifts, talents, and abilities to share. It's so easy for me, and I'm being vulnerable, okay? It's so easy for me to compare others' gifts, talents, and abilities, so much so that sometimes I'm like, well, I wish I was good at that, or I wish I could do that. Man, I wish I could create a graphic like that, okay? Those are some examples that I've had to walk through. But affirming myself in who I am and what I'm good at reminds me that I have those unique talents and abilities, and I shouldn't keep them to myself. I need them to share them with others. Tina, I love that, because if I say it out loud, okay, it reminds me of who I am and who God says that I am. Okay. I love that. Remembering I have gifts not yet realized. Oh, I love that, Dana. That's so good. Kayla says affirmations remind me that I am capable. I love that you made that personal, Kayla, and help me to push through imposter syndrome. So good. Oh, Jennifer, this is good too. Oh, these comments are gold, y'all, because I'm very hard on myself. Why are we that way? Why are we that way? And need to remember I'm not perfect and that it's okay to make mistakes. It absolutely is okay to make mistakes. And we all do. Natasha, this is good. Self-affirmation gets me out of stinking thinking. So good. Just like we did at the beginning, taking that moment to stop and find gratitude, taking that moment to stop and affirm ourselves in who we are and our gifts, talents, and abilities can switch our mindset and push us forward, because we're not always going to feel confident, right? All right, here's the next one. So the first one is recognize your strength. The next one, now you think I might use the word weakness, but I'm not going to use that word, all right? Acknowledge your opportunities, okay? There are going to be places in our lives, y'all, that we're just not good at, right? We don't have all of the gifts, talents, and abilities, right? That would be a really boring world to live in if we all could do all the things really, really good, right? Okay? There are going to be opportunities that we have to grow, to make changes, to strengthen, stretch some muscles, okay? You need to acknowledge those and don't shy away from them. Now, not necessarily be proud of them and gloat on those, okay, areas of opportunities, not quite to that extreme, but acknowledge me. I am not a graphic designer. Thank goodness for Katie Day on our team, who knocks out some of the most beautiful graphics, right? But I acknowledge that's not really my strength. It's an opportunity. I could learn and stretch that muscle, a little bit more. There are opportunities and places that I can go to stretch that muscle if I see the need to do that. And not every opportunity needs to be given life either. That's another lesson. All right. So I want you to switch that negative mindset of weakness and switching it to looking at it as an opportunity. Okay. Now, make a list. What are those areas of opportunities? What are things that you don't know how to do that you would like to learn how to do? Okay. And you can think inside of your virtual assistant business, but let's kind of stretch our imagination. Okay. Where are some opportunities just in your own personal life that you could be better at? Again, I'll go first. Meal planning, right? I am a terrible meal planner. Y'all, sometimes it gets to 5:00 and my children are asking me what's for dinner, and I still don't know what's for dinner tonight. It's an opportunity for me to get better at. And there are resources, there are tools, right, that are available to me to help me get better. Okay, maybe it's scheduling your day better, time management. Maybe it's organizing either at your desk or in your home. Okay. What are some areas of opportunity for you? I want you to name one in the comments. Jenny named one already. Okay. My opportunity is not to get overwhelmed. Tina says, I have opportunity in learning more about being creative in Canva. I love how specific that was. Great job. Okay. Oh, here's one. Tina says in her personal life, budgeting, right? Those are opportunities, areas that we can grow, improve on, and make better. And the first thing that in order to make them better is to actually acknowledge them. My budgeting really needs some help and needs some work. Okay. My creative designs in Canva really need some work, some practice, some growth, some strengthening. Okay. So if you haven't already, drop an area of opportunity in your life. And if you want, specifically in your business or maybe outside of your business, even things outside of our business affect inside our business. 100%. All right. So the first one that we talked about was recognizing your strengths, taking the time to affirm your unique gifts, talents, and abilities in whatever way that looks like, whether it's journaling, making a list, putting Post-its on your desk. Maybe you need to ask a friend. And then the next one, okay, we're going to switch the mindset and we're going to acknowledge our opportunities. Where can we learn? Where can we grow? Where can we strengthen? Okay, now some of you have already decided one of them today. If you haven't already, I want you to do that. Naming it and claiming it is one of the first steps in building confidence in that, right? It may mean that it's an area of growth and opportunity because you aren't confident in it or you don't know how. Or it may even be that we've played the comparison game and we don't think that ours will ever be good enough. And so we just don't try and just don't do it. That's not the right attitude to take either, right? So acknowledge that we do have areas for growth. We do have areas of opportunity to strengthen, okay? And when we recognize that, when we name that, then we can move towards confidence in that, whatever that looks like. And you know what? We also have to acknowledge and accept the fact that that may not be one of our gifts, talents, and abilities. And when we are able, we might just need to resource it or outsource it. That's okay too, right? Awesome. Oh, this is a good one, Anita. I like this. Opportunity to declutter my home and my office. That's good. Awesome. Okay, so recognize your strengths, acknowledge your opportunities. The third one, okay, is to make a plan. So often we get fearful, we get afraid, we hesitate, just a couple of emotions, right? When it comes to doing something because we don't think that we're going to do it well. We lack that confidence. We're unsure, okay? Or we're comparing ourselves to others. We feel like an imposter. All of those things. Well, now that we've recognized an area of opportunity, then we can make a plan on how we can attack it. How can we build our confidence inside of that thing? Okay, and I'm going to switch our mindset a little bit more business related, and I'm going to talk about discovery calls, right? That's a big area inside of launching, growing, and even scaling your virtual assistant business, where we want you to build and strengthen that confidence, right? It's not easy to jump on a discovery call, right? And sell your services, your packages, talk about who you are, what you offer. It's not easy for everybody, but we want you to build that confidence, flex that muscle, right? So that you can get to that. So let's make a plan, right? Identify the specific things that you're not confident about. Is it, I don't really know how to use Zoom. I've never used Zoom before. Okay. What could be the action item to that particular area of confidence, lacking that confidence? I need to learn Zoom. I need to figure out, I need to practice. Hey, maybe grabbing a friend, hey, can you jump on a Zoom call? I just need to click around and know how it works, right? Okay, what else inside of the discovery call process? I'm not confident in my packages and in my prices. Well, have I got a resource for you? Also, pausing, shout out to all of our new Savvy Systems students. Y'all, we had over 400 new students join our Savvy System course. If you are a new student, give me a shout out in the comments. Okay. Inside of the Savvy System course, we give you an abundant number of resources, okay, to strengthen your confidence with your discovery call, whether it be the discovery call script, whether it be kind of the nail the sale outline that we give you inside of the Savvy System, right? Okay. There are resources available to you. Okay. Look for the opportunities and places that you can go to attack that particular area of opportunity. Right now, here's what I want you to do. Hey, shout out to all my new students. I see you. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Now, for those, it doesn't matter if you are a new student, if you're thinking about, you're just not sure if virtual assistants is for you, or whether you've been here for a long time, doesn't matter. We all struggle through this confidence. All right. So we've talked about our areas of opportunity. Some of us have named them in the comments. What is one action step that you need to take to build confidence in that particular area? Okay. Meal planning. That's mine. That's what I named. Okay. It supports my business. It supports my family. What's one thing that I can do to build confidence? I need to go look at some recipes that I can make ahead of time. What does that look like? Right? There's lots of places that I can learn that. Okay. I mentioned discovery calls. Okay, and having hesitation and lacking confidence in your discovery call. Maybe it's because you haven't used Zoom on a regular basis, and I need to go learn that platform. Maybe I need to just do some research on what is a discovery call? What does that mean? What does that look like? Maybe it's your packages and your prices. Reach out to our community, whether you're inside of our courses or you're in our free group. Like, ask the questions and get the support that you need to build that confidence. You have to make a plan in how you're going to attack it. You can recognize it, you can acknowledge it, and it can just sit there with no attention, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to feed it. We want to encourage it. And sometimes we may get to the point, and I've already said this, we may get to the point where, like, this is not my strength. I don't need to be giving this any more time and attention. I need to outsource this. I need to pass this on. I need to get support in this, and whatever that looks like. All right. So name the step that you need to take inside of your plan to attack, to start chipping away at that opportunity. Okay, let's see. Ooh, I love this. Alex, shout out to our product support specialist here at TVS. She needs to wake up before 7 a.m. You mean Einstein, your amazing, handsome puppy, isn't waking you up before 7 a.m.? Please teach me your ways. That's a great step, though, Alex, right? Okay, Christian says attending networking events. That's one step that she can take inside of her plan to attack that area of growth. All right, so I love recaps. Let's do some quick recaps, okay? The first thing, recognize your strengths. Affirm yourself. That's going to naturally give you that confidence. It's going to, give you a little bit of that dopamine, right? For you to feel good about what you're walking into and what you're going to accomplish. We also have to acknowledge that we're not going to be good at everything. We're not going to be great. There's going to be things that we're going to have to eventually outsource and ask for support with. That's okay. How many of you struggle with asking for help? Hand raised in my office. I should probably raise both hands. How many of you struggle asking for help? This is a muscle that I've had to flex many times in my life. But it's and I guess, oh my goodness. All of y'all, okay? Well, a lot of you hanging out with me. It's so hard because what does that do? It does just this. It acknowledges that we have an area that we aren't as strong in, that we have that area of opportunity, right? And sometimes we don't like that. We don't like that feeling. We don't like putting ourselves out there. But what can it do, okay, for us to be able to get the support and help that we need? Actually, it does just what we're talking about today, and it can help build your confidence and encouragement by working with somebody who is going to now live in their strengths. Do you see what we did? Right? If this is not my area of expertise and strengths, I can lean into somebody else where it is their strength, it is their passion, and I can support them. And this leads me to my last point, okay? And it looks like we're going to have plenty of time for Q&A today. All right, the last point is to shift your focus. I want to ask this question in the comments because I want to see if you know where I'm going. Where are we going to shift our focus from or away to? Answer it either way. We need to shift our focus away from what? We need to shift our focus away from what? Or if you want to say, shift your focus to what? I want to see if you're following where I'm going. Tina got it. Oh, yes. What are we shifting? Are we shifting our attention or our focus away from? Yep, I love it. Ourselves. 100%. And that may look like negativity. Absolutely. Okay. Comparison, right? But what are we doing in that comparison, Anita? We're comparing ourselves to others. Let's shift our focus away from ourselves and let's look at opportunities to lean into others. If you got our email today, we gave you a great suggestion on how to fight against that confidence as actually to mentor somebody. Where are there people in your life that need support from your strengths? Let me repeat that again. Where are there people in your life where they can lean into your strengths? We talk about that when we first talk about letting people know that you're doing this virtual assistant business. Okay. And actually, let me give you a link real quick. If you go over to, I don't want you to go yet, but remember this, and team, you can drop this in the comments too, if you don't mind. Okay. If you go to the virtualsavvy.com/swag, virtualsavvy.com/swag, you can get access to our personal outreach template. Okay, if you attended our challenge that we had a couple weeks ago, we talked about this. Okay, that gives you the opportunity to share with people that could lean into you and your strengths and your gifts and your talents and your abilities through your virtual assistant business. Maybe there's somebody else just in your personal sphere of influence that needs you for support in other areas of life. Who can come help me plan my meals? Does anybody want to come and prep them for me? I will lean into your strengths. Okay. Maybe somebody else that you know uses Zoom on a regular basis and you want them to jump on a call with you and practice. Hey, look for those opportunities where you can either mentor somebody, you can support somebody, share with what you do, right? And that will naturally also feed into your confidence. So good. All right, let me review our quick comments or our quick points, and then I want to make sure that I answer any questions. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm going to ask you to do one little thing for me, though, because I am by myself. If you can put 2 little question marks before your question, that way it jumps out at me in the comment thread, then I can see it really quickly. If you have questions about confidence, about battling through that, or maybe just something else inside of your business that you want to chat about, I've got plenty of time to hang out for some Q&A today. But let's quickly review how to step into your confidence, right? The first way, recognize your strengths. Take that time in a specific way, whether it's journaling, writing it down on a Post-it note, chatting with a friend. Recognize your strengths and affirm yourselves. Acknowledge that there are going to be opportunities and places for you to grow and learn and possibly even outsource. And that's okay, right? Those are who our clients are too. They don't have all the gifts, talents, and abilities. They have their own unique ones, right? That's why they have their businesses. And our strengths may be the email marketing or the graphic design or the calendar management and the inbox management. That may be your strengths that you need to help them with. But it's important to acknowledge what our areas of opportunities are. Once you've acknowledged those, then you can make a plan. Okay, this is definitely an area. What's my plan? Do I need to learn something? Do I need to practice something? Do I need to invest in something? Do I need to outsource something? Make a plan step by step in what that looks like so that you can attack it. Because once you attack it and you come up with that plan, it's going to build your confidence. And lastly, shift your focus. Shift your focus away from the negative. And so often it's negative self-talk, right? Shift your focus away from that. Shift your focus onto others. Share about what you're doing. Share how you can help and support. Who can you share your gifts and talents and abilities with to boost their confidence, to help grow their business? Okay? Shift the focus away from ourselves. Okay. My team is out there answering questions. If you have questions, let me know. Yeah, definitely go visit virtualsavvy.com/swag. And there's some really cool resources there. You can check out our blog, check out our YouTube channel for a ton of various trainings and things, of course, after we're done here with Q&A. And maybe let's talk about this for a second. Maybe it is an investment. Okay, maybe it is a specific tool or platform that you don't know about. Maybe you see a job op and they list a particular platform and, I don't know how to do that. All right. Well, here at the Virtual Savvy, we have a great place that you can do that, right? We have the Savvy Vault, savvyvault.com. Okay. And maybe you don't know exactly what you need to learn or grow into, or tools and platforms or services that you can offer. Here's another link. I'm a link heavy here for a second. Okay, the virtualsavvy.com/quiz. You can take that, find out your personality quiz, and that's going to help you determine what could be really good options for you as far as services. Look for those opportunities and places where you can strengthen, stretch, grow those places. Okay. Awesome. Yep. Shout out to Chachi. Come see him out in the Savvy Vault. He is there to give you tech support, answer your questions, all of the things. In fact, he asks me a question. Are there any tools, apps, techniques that can help me make a plan? Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes we don't have to overthink it. Don't make it complicated. All right. If you're very tech savvy and you want something digital, there's some great simple project management tools like Trello. Trello is a great one to use. It's very visual, that you can make cards, right? I don't want to get too technical with all the terms, but you can make a really simple outline of a plan and you can watch yourself move through that plan. Maybe you're more of a list creator. Then just create a list. Maybe it's a bullet journal. Maybe it's just a blank notebook that you're going to use. Maybe it's just a blank sheet of paper. All right. Whatever that looks like for you, try different things. There's no perfect system. There's no perfect tool. And I don't want you to make it too complicated. All right. Use what you already have available to you to create that plan. And I would definitely, if you're able to, depending on what your plan looks like, you may want to be real specific in like naming due dates, naming when you need to get this done. Okay. I'm going to take the Zoom training in Savvy Vault by the 28th of February, and name it and claim it on when you're going to do that. Yeah. This one's a good one too. Like maybe it looks like time blocking. Okay, it could be that. Maybe that's what you need to be better at. Maybe that's your area of improvement. What would be a great tool for that? If you use Google, you can use a Google Calendar to do that. If you use 360, you can use that as well. Okay, there's a variety of tools that you already have in your circle of what you use that could work. I don't want you to overcomplicate it. And a team too, Chachi, if you have some tools or systems that you think would be a great fit too, drop those too. 100%, Jenny. Can I outsource cleaning my house? Yes. Like if that's causing challenges for you and you're able to work that into your budget, absolutely, you can outsource that. All right. And maybe that's a goal that you reach towards. All right. So good. Y'all, I don't see any questions coming through. What questions do you have? Oh, here's another one from Chachi. Hey, Chachi, give me all the questions. We can have a little conversation. If we're lacking confidence, is there a small win I can get that will help me gain some little confidence? Is there a small task that you can think of? Well, of course, it's going to depend on what that thing, where are you lacking that confidence? And what is that going to look like? I think we need to break it apart a little bit more, because it's going to be really kind of specific to you as an individual on what that's going to look like. So identify what that area is where you're lacking confidence, break it apart, and where can I get a small win? All right. So if we kind of circle back to the Zoom example of discovery call, right? Like, okay, learn Zoom, try it out with my friend, small win, gain confidence. I know how to use it. I know how the buttons work, all the things. Emma says, do you have any advice for imposter syndrome when you're getting ready to send out your portfolio to dream clients? Do you have any advice for imposter syndrome when you're getting ready to send out your portfolio to dream clients? Backing up, okay, to the very first thing, Emma, I want you to affirm yourself in what you're offering. What are your gifts, talents, and abilities? And remember, those dream clients aren't necessarily going to have those gifts, talents, and abilities that you are offering. And that's step number one, okay, to recognize that. Now, when we get to the actual sending part, yes, there's work in between. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead for just a second. That's okay, Emma, I got you. I didn't have too many questions coming through yet. When we get to that actual sending part, one of the best things to do is to send and run. Like, hit the send button, do the best that you can. Okay, send the email, attach your portfolio, and then just do it. Right? Sometimes we just have to do that. But looking at that imposter syndrome, you have to really look at who you are and how you respond to what's going on around you. And let me kind of dive into this a little bit more. All right. I love community. I love networking. I love building relationships. I love connecting with y'all. Okay. So, but it's very, very easy for me to get trapped in a comparison game. Okay. Especially when I'm doing things for my business and I'm putting myself out there. It's very easy for me to, oh my goodness, like, look at that. Like, that's amazing. Why doesn't mine look like that? Why can't I make a sales page that looks like that, or write copy that looks like that, or create a design that looks like that? It's very, very easy for me to get trapped in that comparison. And I know that about myself. And so I have to make sure that when necessary, I put those blinders on so that I'm not distracted by other people and I focus on myself and what I have to accomplish. And so often that affirmation can be a big thing. And when it comes down to it, sometimes we just have to put ourselves out there. I mean, we could go into, facing our fear and exercising what that looks like and specific steps to do that. And we have past lives and videos on that as well. But we have to recognize sometimes we just have to do it and send it. Action over perfection. How many times have you heard us say that here at TVS, right? Sometimes we just have to put ourselves out there. Let's see. Oh, this is a great question. Do you have any suggestions on helping to make me less self-conscious on Zoom calls? I have a big one, and that's to take your picture off. There is an ability that you have on your Zoom call to remove yourself so that you can't see yourself. And this suggestion actually came out in the midst of pandemic when everybody was, not everybody, but a large majority of people were jumping on Zoom. And there was a real Zoom fatigue that was happening, right? And part of that they actually showed was because of us looking at ourselves and being self-conscious about us and our background and what's happening and how I look and, oh, did my lipstick smudge? Is my hair tucked right? Like all of those kinds of things. But if we actually take ourselves out of it, shift our focus, okay, then that often can help, okay? If you don't want to completely move yourself off so that you can't see it, you can make it speaker view, right? So that yours is smaller and the person that is talking is larger. Right? There are some tips and things that you can do inside of Zoom to do that. Just another practical way to build your confidence inside of Zoom is to practice. And that may mean you jumping on a Zoom call by yourself and just role playing. I would recommend jumping on with a friend and somebody to kind of help you with that. And it helps to do it not just in person, but to do it on the actual platform that you're going to be using, such as Zoom, so that you get a feel for that and what that looks like. If you're inside of our Savvy system, we actually, and you're in the pro version, you have access to the discovery call recording, like the mock discovery call, and then you have access to the discovery call outline and things like that are going to help you in just like the logistics of presenting who you are and what you do. All right. Ooh, I've got some more questions coming. Yay. Thank you. Karina says, I lack confidence in convincing my husband this is the best decision I have ever made. Thoughts, advice. Okay, Karina, if you jump over to that swag link, I'm going to pull your comment down for just a second. If you jump over to swag, virtualsavvy.com/swag, there is a download there of objections. That is a great conversation starter for you and your husband. Also, if you jump over to past recordings, me and my husband actually did a live, 2 weeks ago, I think, about talking through some of those objections with a partner or a spouse and what that looks like. Even when they might be a little cynical or asking those questions, one of the best things that you can do is just to sit down and have an honest conversation. What does this look like? How can we support each other? What if this doesn't work? And being honest and playing those scenarios out. It's okay to play those scenarios out. It's so important that you actually have the conversation and sit down and talk through those. And check out that objections guide, because it can give you some really good thoughts to do that as well. Here's a great question. How did y'all gain the confidence to reach out to your family and friends? I've worked construction my entire life, so I feel as though they will see this as a joke. So virtual assistants is still a new concept for so many, and specifically for those that don't understand the online space, the virtual world, that aren't in that kind of arena, right? And it's very different than a lot of businesses, but they're also very similar in what it looks like. You are offering a service of whatever it is that you are doing, right? And again, affirming yourself. I am good at keeping things organized. I am good at keeping my calendar organized. I'm good at calendar management. I'm good at time management. I'm good at copywriting. I'm good at graphic design. I'm good at this, and I'm going to share this with others, and this is what this looks like. And I would also kind of come prepared to that conversation with what you're going to share, right? Because that's going to build your confidence, right? Why are you lacking the confidence? I'm lacking the confidence because I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know how they're going to respond. Okay, so let's make a plan. Let's think to ourselves, what is this going to look like? What do I need to be prepared to say? What do I want to say? And make a plan for what that conversation could look like for you. And that will help build your confidence in coming to that conversation. Just like the discovery call. You don't want to go to a discovery call unplanned. Okay, you want to do your research. You want to really be confident in what your packages are, what your prices are to the best that you can, even if you're brand new. Okay, knowing what you're going to do coming into that conversation will help build your confidence. Hey, Yamula, I had a number in mind for my services, but what about if the client can only afford a specific amount that is lower than what I was thinking? Should I still go for it even though it's lower, especially because it would be my first client? Great question. I want you to think about flexibility, okay, within your business. We recommend, if you went through our challenge, if you're inside of our Savvy system, you know that we recommend having 3 service options. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with having some back pocket options in case something like this were to come up. Maybe they can't afford your lowest package. It's a little bit out of their price range. Again, you get to make the choice whether or not you work for them. Maybe it's on the other end of the spectrum. This has happened before, where they want more than our top tier package. Okay, being prepared for what that looks like. I don't want you, and nor would I recommend that you lower your price. Okay, if your price is $30 an hour for these services, I'm not going to recommend or suggest that you lower it to 20 because they tell you that they can't afford that. So maybe you say, okay, my lowest package is 10 hours, okay, for $300, 10 times 30, right? Example's sake. But I'd be more than willing, if you wanted to do maybe a 5-hour package, just kind of test the waters and get some work done. I'd be more than happy to do that. Okay. And that would be 30 times 5, 150, right? So you're not lowering your price, you're lowering the deliverables. Does that make sense? I would never recommend that you lower the price, but I would definitely recommend that you lower the deliverables. And if you have follow-up questions, y'all, as I'm answering these, please let me know. Okay, Christian says, should I list my packages on my website? She watched a deep dive with Laura Wright. This is inside of our Savvy system, and I really love her method of taking dollars on the call, but I want to weed out any of the non-paying clients. Oh, great question, Christian. So I'm going to give you my personal opinion, give you some options, and then you ultimately get to make the choice. I love listing prices in some form or fashion, whether it be on your website, your Facebook page, in your portfolio, all of those things. But sometimes our packages, depending on the deliverables, may be flexible, right? And it's not always this one price. Even if we have our packages like 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, you may not feel comfortable listing all of those on your website or whatever. You could say prices starting at XYZ. Okay. Packages starting at XYZ, because what that does, okay, what I've seen it do is actually create a natural funnel for clients that are going to be a good fit for you. Right? Because you want to weed out those clients that don't have the money to pay, that aren't going to be the right fit because of the financial reasons, maybe specifically because we're talking about prices. So create that natural funnel where, oh, her packages are starting at $500. That's on my price range. She's not a good fit for me, right? So then they don't reach out, and that's totally fine. That's totally acceptable. In my systems and processes, for example, sake, I had a form that you fill out before you jump on a discovery call for me, and it's a simple form I have built out in my Dubsado, and there's a multiple choice question, and I ask you, what's your budget? And then I give them 4 options. The first one is under my package pricing, and the other 3 are within my package ranges, right? So if somebody fills out a form that they want to connect with me and want my services, and they click that first option, we may not be a match. And it just kind of creates that natural funnel. Maybe there's more information than I need from before I can make that final decision, but I definitely recommend considering at least having a starting price point to weed out some of those. Great questions. A Facebook friend, are the previous Savvy calls recorded so I can watch them after the fact? So it depends on where you're thinking of, my friend. If you are thinking of on our Facebook page, inside of our Virtual Assistant Savvies group, on our YouTube channel, yes, most of all of our calls are recorded, and you can catch those inside of those channels. If you're talking about inside of a specific product, most our calls are recorded and available. It depends on the type of call. There are some calls that are formatted in a way that we cannot record them. You have to be there live. So depending on where you're asking about, yes, most of them are. Great questions. Oh, I love you guys supporting each other in the comments too and giving more feedback. Alexis says, I finished my portfolio and it's awesome, but how can I create a proposal that works? I don't know. I feel overwhelmed by it. I created a Fiverr account also because I felt intimidated. So the question is, how can I create a proposal that works? Great question. If you actually go again to that swag link, get the personal outreach template. It's going to give you kind of a template, a basic outline of what that proposal could look like, whether you're reaching out to somebody that you already know, or whether you need to kind of shift the language a little bit to somebody that you don't know. but I'm going to add something onto this. And this is something that you can actually search across our channels, Alexis, and find some more information on that, is value first. We teach you to follow the value first method when doing a proposal, because inside of our virtual space, sometimes there's going to be higher competition and you want to stand above the rest, right? You want them to take notice. And that's often doing our value first method, whether it's you're creating something for them to use. You did research on their blogs and you created them a blog article that they could use. Maybe it's a social image that they can use. Maybe it's a customer email template. Maybe you just present yourself as the value. Oh, this is my favorite. You present yourself as the value and you do a little Loom video. Loom, Loom, is one of my favorite Chrome extensions that we use here at the Virtual Savvy and that I use in my own business. And it allows me to put my face, my eyes, my smile in front of my potential client and connect with them outside of an email, outside of the black and white. And sometimes just that simple, hi, my name is Alexis. I'm super excited to meet you. Take a look at my email below, but I would love to connect with you and how I could be a great support inside of your business. And that simple video can make a connection with your eyes and with your smile that can never happen inside of an email. So try that sometimes too. Oh, good. Alexis, you asked again, can I get tips on an effective proposal? Let me know if that helps if you have any other questions. Loom, yes, Loom. Oh, my Alexa likes it too. Alexa, off. That was fun. Okay. Oh, it's because I said your name and it thought that I was saying his name. Awesome. Do I have any other questions? Top secrets to get clients fast. Chachi, thanks for dropping that link in the comments. I appreciate it. Denise, okay, so let's talk about my form. I want you to, don't overthink it, okay? And I want you to think about what would be the information that you need from your potential client for you to make the decision whether or not they would be a good client for you, and for them to kind of give you the information that they need to share with you. Name, email, how'd you find me? What's your business? What are your services? What's your website? Okay. If you could offload one thing, what would it be today? What's your budget? What's your starting point? Don't overthink it. Just think of the information that you need to get from them to make the decision that you need. Okay. And depending on what your services are, that form is going to look different. And it may be more in depth than others might be. The goal of my form was to determine if it was a good fit for them to work with my business. And one of those questions was the budget. Is it a good fit? Can you afford my services? Okay, what kind of services do you need? If you need website development, don't come to me. That's not my services. I'll forward you on to somebody else. Okay, so think of the questions that you need to ask to get the information that you need to be able to make a decision. Okay, I'm going to do one more question. Happiness. How can I overcome the fear that I will not do the work well enough, that I will disappoint the client? Oh, this is such a good question. Okay, we'll end with this question. One of the best things that you can do inside of your working relationship, and I sometimes like to use the word partnership, okay? Inside of that partnership with your client is to have an open, honest line of communication, whatever that looks for you, whether it's Slack, whether it's just email, whether you use a communication app like WhatsApp or Voxer, whatever that looks like, okay? Is that you keep that open line of communication, because let's be real, mistakes are going to happen. Sometimes you might miss a detail. Sometimes you might have the wrong date or something. Those things are going to happen. We're going to do our very best to pay attention to detail, double, triple, quadruple check things. but things still might get missed. We are humans. All right. But when we keep that open line of communication and we're willing to own those opportunities, acknowledge those opportunities, keeping those lines of communication open, it releases that pressure. Okay. I mean, many times over, stories from our students inside of my own business. I can remember I worked with multi 6, 7 figure dollar business coaches, right? And so I was working with people that were paying a lot of money, okay, to get the services from my clients. And I remember I sent an email with the wrong date or the wrong information of some kind. I caught it, but I had to acknowledge that I made that mistake. But because I was honest in the moment, she's like, Rachel, thank you so much for bringing this up. Let's make sure to fix that. And what can we do to prevent it from happening again? Right? But if I were to not say it, not acknowledge it, keep it locked behind the door, pretend it didn't happen, that's when more issues can come up. Okay, be willing to have that open line of communication. Be willing to put yourself out there, even when those mistakes are going to happen. I hope that helped. All right, y'all, this has been a super fun live today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for interacting with me. I love interacting with our savvies, whether you're on our Facebook channels or whether you're on our YouTube channels. Y'all are the best. You guys have true gifts, talents, and abilities that should be shared with the world. And we all have areas of improvements, okay, that we can make to help build our confidence. Step into your confidence, make a plan, look for those opportunities where you can grow your confidence even more, okay, and celebrate those wins. Share them with us. We love to hear those, and we will see you. We're live every Tuesday here, same time, same place, or we'll see you inside of our products if you're inside there. All right, guys, see you later. Bye-bye.